review. Book 101 is all about the books that I read for the last 40 years. And today I have my special guest. She is the founder of Masters of Badassery. No other than Miss Martha Krashkowska.
That was a good attempt at my last name.
Yes. Sorry, probably I mispronounced your last name. Can you please introduce more about yourself?
um, yes, my name is Marta, and I am the founder of Masters of Badassery. We are a extreme coaching company. We take people out into the mountains so they can discover who they are without the noise of the daily world, where they can meet themselves in the challenging conditions and see what they're made of.
Indeed. So, Miss Marta, how do I pronounce your last name?
Oh, Tchaikovsky, like the Russian composer
Like
Tchaikovsky.
Lykovsky. Oh, I want to apologize.
No problem.
So,
It happens to me
m-
every day.
Lykovsky. Miss Marta Lykovsky, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge to the world. And what was your first impression after you reading The Ultimate Coach?
This is really not a book. It's a invitation to uh it's an invitation to a deep change in each of us. And even how the book is written, um, on the back cover of the book, there are no reviews. There's no New York City this and Amazon winner of that or any accolades. It just says, please read this book as if it was about you. And so it has us trying on the ideas and the concepts and the things that happen to the protagonist in the book and apply them to our life. So in that way, it's not, I wouldn't say it's really a book, it's an experience of internal change.
Experience indeed. So, if you will align the principle of the book to your company, Masters of Badassery, where did they align?
Yeah, in a huge way. So the Ultimate Coach book, I recommend everybody who's ready for transformation read that book about yourself. And this book is written by a wife about the husband who is one of the top coaches in the world. Um, and this man is truly, uh, he's truly walking his talk. He's truly the representation of what he teaches. And what his teachings are is that we are unwounded, unwoundable beings, that we are all infinite and we all have in us everything already. We don't need to change anything, we don't need to learn anything. All we need to do is take responsibility for who we are further, live with integrity, and if we want to achieve different things in life, get into action and do them. And this is exactly what Masters of Badassery is all about. I create experiences for people to go into the mountains and really feel into what is it that they want. First of all, turn off all the distraction and feel really inside of what it is that we want. What is it that stops us from doing it? And inevitably, it's a bunch of excuses that come on for all of us. A list of reasons why we can't do something is the first thing that comes to most of us.
True.
And then once that stuff is out, now we can decide what we want to do with it, right? And some of this stuff, we might not want to change everything in our life or grow in every area of our lives, but we get to be conscious about it and decide from a place of integrity.
Indeed, interesting book. How did the book challenge your previous ideas about coaching or transformation?
Yeah, this book dives really deeply into coaching techniques that Steve Hardison uses, and some of them are pretty pretty interesting, right?
Yes.
So something that he talks about is that he cares so much about the person's growth and the person's um, dream that he doesn't care if they like him. So he's known to well, it's been said that there's a rumor circling that he has thrown a client in the pool. I think that is not true. But he's definitely been described as someone who coaches with a lot of flame. And I myself actually I was very lucky beginning well, end of last year to go and work with Steve Hardison before he retired. He actually retired this year. And I was standing in his office. We were in his office, and we were both, I was saying something about who I want to be in the world. And I was saying it in a normal voice. And he said, I need you to say it so loudly that all of my neighbors hear you saying this. So there I was making, um,
Nice.
speaking up and screaming who I am in the world in his office.
Nice. What an experience indeed. So let's think about the key teaching and insight. Which principle or idea from the ultimate coach had the greatest impact on you?
Hmm. Really, when I deeply connect to this book, it's about uh, complete uh, honesty with myself. So often, I'll give you an example. So often, let's say I come late. Imagine that I come late to this meeting.
Yes.
And for most of us, when we look deeply into our heart, we want to tell the other person the reason why we came late. Oh, I came late because I don't know, my internet crapped
Yeah.
out or my dog, whatever, right? But
Yes.
the truth is that the moment that I say I'm going to be here at 5 and I'm here at 5:01, I am out of integrity with myself. And so what I do with that later with people is a completely separate issue. But for me to own up to the places in my life where I said I was going to do something and didn't do it, or behave in ways that don't align with my values, that's me in lack of integrity. And the Ultimate Coach book really showed me in how many places in my life am I leaking energy by being out of integrity. Another example of this is, let's say, I'm meeting with a friend. This is someone's, I think everybody can relate to this. I'm meeting with a friend and they cancel on me twice, right? Okay, we're going to meet
Yes.
on Friday. Oh, I can't come. Saturday, can't come. Comes Monday, I feel like I can now cancel. Oh, she cancels all the time. I can cancel this meeting. This is me out of my integrity. It doesn't matter what she does. What matters is um what are the values that I'm leading myself by, and am I saying what I'm going to do? So this really drove it home for me, and I had some really interesting looking at myself, seeing where is it that I'm not doing this? Because everywhere I'm not doing this, I get to fix it.
Beautiful. Beautifully articulated, Miss Marta. Very well said. Where is there a specific quote or passage that really stayed with you after reading?
Mm. Mm. In the book, there are quite a few um, uh, vignettes from people that have worked with Steve Hardison. He has had um, some people working with him for years, and he was charging $200,000 for a year of coaching. So it wasn't, easy to for anyone to to be spending this much money. I mean, like, think about, like, what's a normal person budget for coaching? It's
Yeah,
$0, right?
true.
That's just how the world is. So in the book, there's quite a few um, uh, stories of clients, and one thing that really stayed with me, um, JP Morgan was writing about sending the wire transfer of $200,000 to Steve Hardison, and he thought, that moment is so vulnerable. For most people, that's crazy amount of money, and so it was for him. And for him to go, oh my god, I'm going to do this, I'm really investing this in myself. And as he was pressing the button on the wire transfer, he
Receipt.
thought, what if Steve Hardison dies? What if he dies? And like, what am I going to
200 is
do?
gone.
The money's gone, right? And then that moment he decided, if he dies, I'm still gonna spend the time that I committed to spend with this person. I'm gonna coach myself, and I'm gonna get the $200,000 value out of this investment, no matter what the circumstances are. And to me, that's a power of commitment, right? We so often we go, oh, I'm gonna do something and I'll see how it goes, right?
Yes.
Right. Or is this coach worth my money? That's another great question that people ask. And it's like, well, it's really not up to him. It's really up to you.
Indeed. It's up to us. And stop procrastinating. I will do it later.
Oh yeah. The famous story that we all do, right? Oh yeah, later. Yeah. I like to laugh at myself because in the future I always have a lot of time. Oh yeah, I'll when I'm there, like in March, I'll for sure be able to do this.
One of my bucket lists. So, in what ways the book influence your relationships, both personal and professional?
Mhm. Um, it really, that idea of accountability, self-accountability, and commitment to myself and my word has had incredible, huge, has made huge waves in my life, where my relationships became more aligned, where I am, because I want to stay in integrity, I am setting much clearer boundaries and saying no a lot more, which in turn leads to bigger trust, right? Because I'm not dropping the ball, and I'm not canceling on people, and I'm not late, right? And
Yes,
these were things I've been working on, but to button it up to that top 1%, that really made a huge difference, because the more accountable I am to myself in small things, the more I can make the big things happen in the world, right? I am on a mission. I have a huge mission. If I can't meet myself doing small things every day, that does not, it, how am I going to do the mission, right? How am I going to do this big thing that I'm dreaming about? But by doing these things and being accountable to myself every day and honest, I I am building the fact that whatever I say will actually happen in the world.
totally agree with you, Miss Marta. What aspect of your being have you focused on transforming since finishing the book?
Commitment is number one thing. Um, I I've done a lot in my life, and I've always walked my own path. And I often would leave things up to circumstances. Well, I don't know if I can do it. We'll see. And what the book really showed me, and this is something I do with my clients that I work with, is that commitment is bigger than anything else. That the moment we commit, we are changing everything in the world as well. So instead of saying, oh, when I win the lottery, I'm going to move to my whatever dream country, moving there without any money and making it happen is much faster and much actually more possible way of doing it, right?
Yes, yes.
So, and that was a kind of a big example, but how often we all are waiting for the world to give us results before we get committed to something because we are afraid to be vulnerable and do something without that certainty that it will work out.
Totally agree with you. And I hope I'm gonna win the lottery today to spend millions of money.
What will you do? What will you do if you win the lottery?
First, I will donate to my Book 101 Foundation 10% of it because I have a foundation helping less fortunate children all over the world. I want to empower less fortunate children because they are the future of our generation. And if our generation will be not be educated enough to be a better person, to be a good citizen, where we going, right, Miss
Yeah,
Marta?
yeah, yeah.
so
100%
le-
agree with that.
yes, so let's talk about the reflection and deeper exploration. Did you find any parts of the book challenging or uncomfortable to accept?
Mhm. I wouldn't say uncomfortable to accept, but I did find quite a bit of when I was reflecting back onto myself. I was seeing where is it that I am losing my power? Where is it that I am living from expectations instead of making powerful agreements with people? I notice where is it that I lack self love? And those are not really easy things to sit with. And so there's been, I read the book twice. The second time I read it was before I went to see Steve Hardison in person, because he asked me to do this as a homework, and it's, it's a thick book,
Take
but it
yes.
goes fast. um, and um, and in the back, I'm just gonna read it because it's very
Sure.
powerful.
Go ahead.
Um, he says, "Please do not read this book about me. Read this book about you. Read it about your being. As you read, ask yourself, who would I need to be a more loving person? Who would I need to be more of an effective parent? Who would I need to create a level of confidence that is remarkable? Who would I need to be at peace with who I am?" Um, so these questions, and there's more. These questions, when we really stop and reflect, and the book provides so much inspiration of other people's stories, that can be uncomfortable because it shows us all the places where we are not what we want to be.
Miss Marta, as the founder of Masters of Badisari, what will be your short-term and long-term goals?
Hmm. Um, my long-term goals and mission is to take world leaders into wilderness. Um, for me, as I understand it, the only way to create caring is by creating intimacy, by creating connection. And so, so many people that make decisions about the world are not, don't have any intimacy with nature. They are afraid of it. They live in air conditioning houses and never had a flat tire or that they had to change on their own. And so um, for for me, the big goal is to take them and have them experience the incredible beauty that our natural world is. There is a story of Theodore Roosevelt that got a letter from John Muir, who was just a sheep herder in Yosemite, and John Muir invited Theodore Roosevelt, American president, to come and spend 3 days in Yosemite wilderness. And Theodore Roosevelt came and they hiked for 3 days. They were stuck in the storm. They had to camp in the storm. All kinds of adventurous things happened to them, which then resulted in Theodore Roosevelt funding the national park system in the United States, which now is huge and thriving and is also at risk currently with the current president and everything that's going on. But that story is such a poignant story of the only way we're going to care about our environment is if we know it. And so the first step for it is to know it. So I am myself training and taking all kinds of people out into the wild to help them find themselves. And big mission, will be changing the world and creating more areas of wilderness that are protected, protecting the species and so on. So to me, that is only possible by consciousness shift. We need to shift our consciousness in understanding that natural world is, we will not survive without it. And when we change that consciousness, we'll do it. We're capable of doing anything.
Good luck to your goals, Miss Marta, and looking for more success to your business itself. What will be your advice for those people out there want to be like you?
My advice is don't be like me, be like you. Be like you, be you. And look at all of you, look at all the parts of you, and welcome all the parts of you because we'll never get rid of things that are not perfect. And we can welcome them and live in peace with them. And for each of us personally, when we are able to welcome parts of us that we are normally trying to reject, peace is what we live from. And from that place, life is incredible. Life is truly amazing.
Truly, indeed, people, life is too short and life is amazing if you are taking, being grateful in everything, not
That's true.
complaining. Being grateful, people, is the secret. And Miss Martha, before we wrap up our discussion for today, I'm inviting you to please do listen to my other podcast, people. Other podcast, because my abstract essay is already in fifth season, abstract poetry in second season. Book 101 review for sure in its fifth season, Comedy 101 in second season, and Food 101 in its fifth season as well. Geography 101 and Love Letters in its third season, and My Baby Podcast, Mental Health 101, and Movie 101 review and Music 101 in its fourth season. So please do listen wherever you listen your podcast. Miss Marta, if you could ask the author one question after reading The Ultimate Coach, what would it be?
Amy Hardison, who wrote the book, I got mine assigned by her.
Nice.
So I would ask her. Um, I'm writing my own book right now,
Great.
And so I would want to know about her process, and I would want to know, how do you outline this? How do you decide what goes where? Tell me, piece by piece, what your process has been. That would I would love to ask her this question. Maybe I'll email her.
Awesome. That'd be awesome, Miss Marta. And again, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge to the world. And we are looking forward for that book that you are creating. And you are most welcome to come back. And let's talk about on book 101 and let's promote to the world. So can you
Most certainly
please
will.
Yes. So, can you please invite our listeners to support your company itself?
Yeah, for anyone that's listening, I have a free group for women wanting to take their next step and step into their next chapter. That's on my website called mastersofbadassery.com.
Yes, people, let's support Miss Marta because if you support her, more and more and more empowering coaching to come, and more upcoming books to come. So, Miss Marta, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. It's been my pleasure.
More to come, people. See you soon.